This video is going to show some of the aerial imagery features in the AutoCAD map toolset. So the first thing that I'm going to do is actually set my coordinate system. Notice down here next to the globe icon, I already have one set, but when you first set this up, there won't be one listed here. If you double click on this icon, it'll open up the coordinate system library and you can search for keywords. So for example, if I wanted to find a coordinate system in Kentucky, I can scroll down here, keep an eye on the units because those do vary, and pick the system that I want to use. So in my case, I'm using this KYHPF code, so that's Kentucky Single Zone in US feet. I'm going to assign that, and that's now set up for me. So with that set, I do want to point out that the AutoCAD map coordinate system is not the same as the Carlson coordinate system. So I have to set a projection and a zone here for any Carlson commands that need to georeference data, but this is in no way connected to the AutoCAD map coordinate system. So just keep that in mind. So with the coordinate system set up, I'm going to bring in some aerial imagery from Bing Maps. And this is actually built into AutoCAD Map. So if I take a look at the ribbon and I go to the Geolocation tab, you'll see that the map is currently turned off. But if I switch this to Map Aerial, it'll automatically load in the aerial imagery. Now, this imagery isn't in here as a normal image property. It's really just like a kind of underlay on the whole map, and it loads dynamically. So if I actually pan around, you'll see the gray spots appearing along the edges, but those reappear as the data is able to load in. Same thing if I zoom out, you'll see the data loads in. And once you zoom out far enough, you'll actually see the imagery may change just based on a different image taken for a different resolution. So that will just continue to load in as needed. Now, if I want to bring in an aerial image from a different data source, maybe it's something you've flown yourself with a drone, maybe it's from a government website, I want to show how we can also do that. And to do it, we need to open up our AutoCAD map task pane. The way that I always bring this up is by just typing in map W space, and I'll turn the task pane on, and that'll show up on the side. If I take a look at the display manager, it'll show any data connections that I have. Right now, there aren't any. So I'm going to add a new data connection. And I'll say connect to data. This opens up the Data Connect tool palette. And here I can go to add raster image or surface connection. I can give the connection a name. I'm just going to give this a generic one for aerial image. And here I can select an individual file, or I can pick an entire folder. I'm just going to pick one file. And you can see I've got 4 aerial images that I've downloaded here. I'm going to pick this first one, and then I'm going to click connect. Now, just by connecting to the data, it doesn't actually show it on the map. So in order to add it to the map, I need to click this button here. So I'm going to click that. It'll add the layer. And in my case, this image came into the right spot automatically. I didn't have to manually assign a coordinate system. If you try this and the system isn't linked up properly, you can come in here and edit the coordinate systems. So in my case, if I wanted to override whatever coordinate system is being used, I could just highlight it, click edit, and then I can manually select a coordinate system. However, a lot of times this will just come into the right spot, so I do recommend try adding it to the map first, and then if it doesn't work, then you can try editing the coordinate system to move it to a different location. Something to note on these images, if I select the image itself and look at the properties, this is not a normal image entity. Notice it's an AutoCAD map, GIS grid surface entity. So I can change some properties about it, but a normal image entity, I would be able to change the image directory right here on the Properties tab. Notice I can't do that. So if I move my drawing around and this data connection gets broken, I would have to come back in here to the Data Connect tool palette, and I would have to reassign that directory. Now, if you want to control the visibility of this image, you can do that from the Display Manager. You can just click the checkbox next to it. That'll turn it on and off. And if you want to remove that connection altogether, one way to get it out of the map, you can actually remove the layer from the Display Manager. You notice when I did that, it's now not shown, but the connection still exists. So if I wanted to re-add it, I could click this button. If I want to completely remove all traces of that image, I'll need to right-click on the connection, disconnect, and then I can right-click on it again and delete that connection. So this just shows some of the aerial imagery features in AutoCAD Map. There are, of course, plenty more to explore, but hope you learned something new. Thanks for watching.